Alright, hello and welcome back. Gone in the toilet. I built a nice little tower so I could let this work while I went to toilet. Now, how much have I collected? Probably not a lot. Oh, I've collected a good amount. Let's grab a stack. Put that in there. Yeah, this should run for a good while. I probably don't need to do anything else to fuel it. So, let's get... Oh, let's get some mycelia research done while I'm here. Go, mycelia! What do we got? Wait, this is... Oh, this would give me gas.
The mycelial networks of these fungi possess unusually resilient hyphae, which show potential for making a strong but lightweight natural fabric. Additionally, it has similar medicinal and pest control applications to mycelia on Earth.
Alright, give me fabric data.
Research completed. Fabric recipe unlocked. New mycelia research available.
Ooh. Is that consumable, though? Don't know, but the gas mask and gas filter will be very useful. And here's the alternate recipe, which I don't have access to, but yeah, I can use polymer resin to create fabric, so that's pretty cool. Alright, let's get this because I have Sator's for free. More medical stuff. Ooh!
Medical properties of local mycelia established. New research options available. Medical inhaler variants.
Right, well, let's get this one. Then I got stuff at home for that one. That's one I can definitely craft with ease.
Inhaler recipe unlocked. Not only does it restore your health, it also acts as a preventative supplement against scurvy and other shortage-induced conditions.
Biomass.
Unfortunately, it does not improve aesthetics, but Pioneer helmets are built to withstand extreme circumstances.
That should give me enough to make... Oh, I needed 10. Oops. There we go. I don't know if that's considered a consumable, so it's if it's a one-time use or not. I'll find out. Probably, yeah, and he's probably got his equipment.
Fix-It appreciates your willingness to descend rapidly to perform your duties, but damaging Fix-It property is a breach of contract and will have unpleasant consequences.
Well, I've already done that a few times.
Improve descent efficiency by combining the forces of gravity and drag with a parachute.
Now begin the real research.
Strange alien matter analysis completed. Dormant crystalline SAM can now be found with the resource scanner. In its dormant state, it is safe to handle without special equipment and can be stored indefinitely. Research for enabling the reanimation of dormant SAM is now available.
Oh, right, I haven't actually got it yet.
And let the effigies defile our temples. The sun will follow.
Next research.
SAM reanimation recipe unlocked. SAM can now be safely awakened.
Come on.
Meaning, if not contained in special electromagnetic storage, it tends to start breaking atomic bonds of any matter it has physical contact with, and reconstructing it into easily transportable resources.
Scripture and blood compose harmony. Follow our hallowed temple halls and listen to the echoes of your ripples. Our bones are more beautiful than yours.
Fuck. Ah, man. Need this so I can get my dimensional storage. Damn it, I need steel. Damn you, steel. Well, I'm gonna grab this at least. Yeah, there is... Nope, that's quartz, not SAM. I thought there were 2 SAM nodes in here. Wait, can I search SAM? Yes, I can. Right, well, that's all I got for now. there was only one in here. Right, we're going to take back my power stones. There's 2 down there, that's pretty nice. I'll be right back. I'm going to process all of this to reduce my inventory space, so I will be right back. Okay, I ran into a very critical error. When I just started doing the wood actually makes less space, not more. Yeah. Whoops. I'm just going to dump this 90, it's fine. Like, I can get 3 stacks of SAM ore to take home for future use. But that's sadly all I can get. Sadly all I can do. I would very much like to take more, but... oh well. I'm gonna just let this chug along. Because it'll definitely get like a full storage cube's worth of materials processed. So that when I inevitably return in order to harvest additional SAM, there'll be a good amount stacked up, ready for shipping. I mean, I'm not going to need it very often. What I have should last a while for my current needs. It's not like I need it for construction. I mostly just need it for research, I'm guessing. Because I'm not really sure what else I'm going to need it for. So, all of that will remain where it is. Actually, hold on, I've just had an idea. I can create an additional mine. Yes. Then I can create an extra spot in my inventory. At least one more spot for another stack. I mean, another stack will last me even longer than, you know, not having one extra stack. Go in there. Serve your purpose. Yay! Alright, give me more! Give me another stack. There you go. Away! So, recently, in other news of things that I have to actually talk about, the Stellaris Nomads DLC expansion. No, it's definitely DLC. It's not grand enough to be expansion. It's interesting. But the one I played was fairly boring. For the most part. It's also really fucking hard. I played just the basic prosperous thing. Pretty much a prosperous beginning version. It's really hard. And very boring, because there's you're not really doing a lot, is the problem. When it comes to the way stations, you can't go too far from your way station network. Because, like, especially late game. Like, late game, you cannot journey very far from your way stations because you burn through so much of your stored resources. Like, because they function differently to a normal empire. You're not just constantly gathering resources. Way stations collect them, and then you need logistics ships to take those stored resources and then ship them to your arc ships. So, if you're too far away from your logistics network, you're going to burn resources hard and fast. And as a result of that, if you get into the low state of resources stored, your damage output on your ships is going to drop to basically nothing. Like, your primary will go down to a percentage. Like, say you've got 10,000 fleet strength, it'll go down to like 2k, roughly. I don't know how that scales up, or if it just goes down to 2k by default. But if you've got any additional arc ships, they go down to a fleet power of 1. So if you're in the middle of combat, far away from home, and you run out of resources, well, guess what? You're fucked. That arc ship is dead. You can have additional normal fleets, but you kind of don't want to. like, arc ships are very strong. They're a fleet unto themselves. But, especially the military arc ship. And you can't, and everything costs. Like, if you want to build stuff, you need strategic resources to build things. You need alloys to build things. Nothing, like, it doesn't cost minerals or energy to build anything. It's still consuming a fuck ton of energy. It's still consuming a fuck ton of alloys. Yes, you can get, or not alloys. Yes, you can harvest, you can get minerals and energy for free, but you're mostly only going to be getting energy for free. That's the only thing to offset your mineral usage is energy. And the best way I found to mitigate the vast, overwhelming drain of endless resources is to have, when you get to the point where you can have multiple arc ship, is you just camp one arc ship in your logistic network, and then you can have your other arc ships go around doing whatever they want. You know, you have them traveling the galaxy doing other things. Fulfilling contracts, deep scanning, combat. You have them doing others. Now, I started with a science arc ship, and I feel like starting with a science-based arc ship is a massive mistake. Because the amount of resources that consumes is insane. Like, also starting with just the basic beginning, like, just like the basic, there's nothing to do, it's just a normal empire, but you don't have an empire, so there's no imperial expansion, you're just sitting there fulfilling some contracts here and there, not really doing a whole lot. It's very fucking boring in the early game, as you're not really doing anything. You're surveying systems until you find another empire, and then you basically say, hey, your empire is pretty cool, let me join yours, and put my entire way-line network in your empire in order to boost your ass up. Let me boost you, make you stronger by fulfilling you with all my ley-line network stuff. However, one slight issue is if you choose a fairly if you spawn next to an empire that's fairly fucking pathetic and does absolutely nothing, or, like I did, spawn next to an annihilation type empire that doesn't do diplomacy and just kills everything on sight because that's just the way they play, well then you can also just go get fucked. If you're gonna do arc ships, I would say your best bet is to play on a very high difficulty so that you benefit quite heavily from cheating AI with all the benefits and bonuses permitted to the higher difficulty cheating AI. Like, all of the benefits they gain, you gain.
Our blood could fill the effigy veins for a resident song. Scripture becomes harmony, becomes composition. Defile our temple and the threads will sew the windows open.
Pattern analysis continuing. New instruction. Repeat pioneer exposure to alien artifacts. Brain damage compensation packages may be available on successful completion of a special claims form. Our expert Fix-It medical staff are impartial and always open to assess your claim.
So yeah, like, if you play on like a lower difficulty, like I just played on like the normal difficulty I do, which is the AI gets no bonuses. You play on that difficulty, the game's gonna be so fucking boring because the AI is, you know, not that competent. You can get empires that are really fucking good and like do like really good sometimes, but I played on like, I'm not really playing on that difficulty much anymore, mostly because it gets pretty boring when the enemy AI just becomes incompetent fairly quickly. So I've started playing on higher difficulties when I do Stellaris. But the problem still remains, you know? On lower difficulties, you cannot play as arc ships. Because the AI is so inept, nothing's going to get done. Straight up. Like, The biggest benefit that you can do to a AI faction is building Dyson thingies, whose name I've forgotten. The Dyson Swarm. You can build Dyson Swarms and forges, like the volcanic forges. You can build those for the AI in a system with a Wayline network. So if you've got a Wayline network with a planet, with a molten planet that's got good output, you can build a molten forge and get shit tons of minerals and alloys for free. Or you can build a Dyson Swarm on a sun with good energy output, and you can jack up the amount of materials you're getting in your Wayline network from just those two. But those are mid-game and they take a while. However, if, you know, by then you're probably not really going to need it because you'll be parking your ass on one system with one guy anyway, so you're going to be getting a ton of resources no matter what. But it is still useful to have. There's also, of course, the AI will eventually start doing it. But it still doesn't change the fact that it's so boring. Because you're not really doing anything. You're fulfilling contracts here and there. But like in the late game, they'll ask you to do research contracts that you can do in a single month. They'll ask you to deep scan planets with a science arc ship, but those, it's just boring. Like, there's nothing to do as an arc ship. You know? You literally just fulfill contracts that are piss easy. Like, this is like medium to late. This is at medium game. You start fulfilling contracts that are piss easy, especially when you've got a science arc ship fully decked out in just outputting all your science, which you can very easily do. And I don't recommend doing that at the beginning of the game because it will fuck you. Mostly because of goddamn consumer goods are a piece of shit. Consumer goods suck. But I might redo my Sons of the Khan or whatever the fuck it's called. One and turn them into a hive network. Hive mind. Because you kind of need... Consumer goods are evil on arc ships. Because you need so much consumer goods and you have no space to build anything on arc ships, and consumer goods are evil. Like, if you're doing a normal thing, yeah, you can just colonize a planet, make it a throwaway planet, make it eventually doing consumer goods, sure, whatever. It's easily remedied. But with an arc ship, you get no space. You get, like, because it's very difficult to make arc ships. It takes a lot of resources, and you're constantly burning alloys to make other things on everything. A lot of stuff costs alloys. So you're constantly burning alloys on other things. It's like 10k to build an arc ship, 5k to upgrade it. You gotta upgrade it twice. It costs a ton of influence to build an arc ship. It costs a ton to upgrade them, so you can't really facilitate a lot of arc ships. So it took me about 150 years to get 4 arc ships, and that's pretty close to the, and I'm pumping out a ton of resources. I've got it good with 2 empires. I've got Forge Worlds, I got Dyson Spheres. I'm pumping out the alloys. And I'm able to do that and field 1 fleet. I can field 1 bonus fleet, and that's about it. But then you've got the problem of population. It is difficult to get more population on 4 arc ships. And as far as I can tell, they don't naturally migrate either. There's no migration between arc ships. So if you want to move population from one that's got a surplus, you have to physically pick them up and throw them over. Of course, you don't have to be near each other. You can just send them and they're fine. But arc ships are... oh boy. I can definitely see some mods coming in to help alleviate the issues that are very present in Arc ships. They got some problems. Can I? No, I can't like offset you or anything. This is temporary storage for all of this. Well, actually, hold on. No, I can just build a small chest, can't I? Yeah, a little personal storage for it. And paint it this. There. Oh, it actually has color. Nice. But yeah, Arc ships, they're a pain in the ass. It's something of the kind. I'm gonna remake them and make them a hive. Hopefully I can turn them into a hive mind. Because I do not want to deal with consumer goods. Consumer goods are just horrid to deal with. Yeah. Either way, I hope people enjoyed my return trip and research in the MAM. I guess I'll start my additional construction now and get our rotors and cubes. Later.